Aye, okay. Aye, let's go for it. Oh Christ, we're on. Thanks for letting me know. It's Ricky Moshville Times here once again. We're still here on a Saturday of the Winterfest. It's been a fun and games weekend with the weather and things like that. But fair play to the two Kennys of Brainbath. They still made a stellar day on the Saturday. But it's an honour again to welcome Rich from last year's headliner, Malediction. So how come you came back?
Support the scene, isn't it? You know, it's that cliche, isn't it?
Yeah.
Supporting the scene.
Well, that do you know something? That they've already got like 50 odd bands that have asked to come on next year. So this festival is just going to go places from strength to strength.
Yeah.
I mean, I was part of the Scottish scene donkeys years ago when I was in Extremis and Versus and Corpse and all the rest of it, you know. Yeah. But it's not to this level as to what it is today.
No.
So it's especially pleasing. I only wish I was like 20 or 30 years younger and doing this stuff.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? It's like the time has never been more right. But you know, we're all
things
aging,
happen for a reason.
We're getting older. You know,
it happens for a reason.
Yeah.
But you guys played a headliner set. Had you released Black Narcissus just before then, or was it after?
Yeah, the EP came out at the end of 23.
Yeah.
So yeah, we played January 24. So yeah, so the EP been out 2
so
months.
I hate to ask you this, Rich, but it's been over a year and I haven't heard a peep from you since.
Yeah.
So what have you been doing?
Well, I've been writing. I mean, I've got 4. I mean, I actually wrote 3 new songs in 23, but it's just been getting them into this, because we've been gigging a lot, so that just tends to, because we're not able to rehearse regularly. It's like, well, the plan was like every 4 weeks, but it's not been that. And then when we have been rehearsing, it's because we're a gig, you know. So like, because we're all from everywhere.
Yeah.
Like we played London in November, so we rehearsed in London, you know. So we do a gig, we tend to rehearse then. But of course, if you're rehearsing for a gig, you're only rehearsing for a gig. You're not.
Did you have that same practice when you were playing this gig?
Yeah. In fact, we did a day and a half before that gig, because it was the first gig back after 29 years or whatever.
Wow.
So. Yeah,
I seem to remember that you were your own worst critic on that day.
Of course.
Have you come down a wee bit since then? No.
Not really, you know.
So the stuff from Black Narcissus to the 3 or 4 songs that you've written just now, then what would you say are the subtle differences? What can we expect from the new Malediction?
I think like the 2 completely brand new songs on the EP were Black Narcissus and The Immortal Masquerade, and they kind of were different from each other.
Yeah.
Whereas the sort of new material is kind of blending those 2 disparate elements together, so I think it's more sort of cohesive than perhaps those 2 songs were.
So again, this is all just written by yourself, but do you welcome contributions from other members of the band?
I mean, the way I work is I sit down and I record myself and I build a track, and I'm constantly sharing the track with the guys, going, please, can I have some suggestions, please? 'Cause I'm full of doubt, you know. I'm not like, this is the. I'm like, no, I need you to tell me if this is any good or not, because I can't tell.
And how are you when they say, "Nah, Rich, it's not working, mate"?
They don't say that. I need them to say, it could be better than it is. But yeah.
But how do you feel personally with the new material? Then, do you think it's the best stuff that you've written?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Better than the stuff on.
So what do you think it is? Do you think it's just a couple of years of experience in different music, or have you approached things differently, or?
I mean, like, you know, Black Narcissus that you mentioned, it wasn't really written. I mean, I started writing that song when I was in another band in the early 2000s. So that was just something I had.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh well, I could make that into a song, but I was always a bit unsure whether it was a Malediction song, but it ended up being one.
Yeah.
But I don't know what it is. I mean, it's, you know, you grow older and you listen to different things, and it's subconsciously influencing you. I mean, although I would say that there's more of a sort of pronounced morbid angelness to our stuff perhaps than there was back in the day, and that's like.
Are we talking Blessed Are the Sick, or are we talking Altars of Madness?
We're talking.
You're going to say Covenant or something?
I'm going to say something horrifying for you. Probably like.
Elude.
Gateways to Annihilation, maybe, you know.
Oh,
but I'm
Christ.
a big fan of that album, you know. I'm a big fan. I think it's very underrated.
You've been listening to Ali Lauder of Angel Summoning too much.
I did see Ali last year. We were talking about that briefly.
Yeah. So that's really cool. So you've obviously talked about a couple of gigs that you've played recently. Have you still got any more in the pipeline?
We're playing Brighton next month. We're headlining a thing at I forget the name of the is it called Dalton's maybe?
Okay.
In Brighton. And I'm just talking. We did a mini tour in October with Blaspheme, and we played Birmingham, Bristol, and then Leeds. And sort of currently talking about maybe doing Bristol again. We played the Griffin, which is fucking awesome venue.
Yeah.
We've got like amazing beer as well, you know. So
seems to be a common denominator in Malediction.
it's like playing somebody's front room though. If you've been to the Griffin, it's absolutely tiny. It's minute.
Yeah.
But so you get 15 people in there.
Best atmosphere.
Yeah.
But what about, do you think there's a chance for Malediction to go overseas, or do you think it's going to take the next release before you might get opportunities like that?
I mean, that's
like Holland, for example, like swap with bands.
That's the dream, isn't it? But I mean, I was talking quite a while ago. I was talking with David from Beheaded. He runs a festival in Malta.
Okay.
And we were going to play it, but we had to cancel because of Sean's cancer.
Yeah.
So and then. I assume we were going to do it last year. I don't know. We didn't get invited to do it. So yeah. Obviously, we'd love to do that.
Yeah. How's Sean's vocal cords at the moment? Because he played a stellar set, but I think it took it out of him after.
To be honest with you, I mean, he's come to my place and he's recorded vocals on 3 of the new songs.
Okay.
And I think his vocals sound better than they did before.
Yeah. Well.
You know, I think it's just added a sort of you know. More gravelly, low-endy sort of timbre to his voice, you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I love this Malediction Mark II and stuff like that. Absolutely brilliant.
Well, it's the only one for me. I mean, you know, that old stuff is just, you know, that's some old stuff. Yeah.
Well, you did play a song from 1989, if my memory serves me correct.
Sure. I mean, but I understand now why you see interviews with bands like, I'm not talking about metal bands, just any band, and they're always like, the new album's the best, because that's, if you're a musician, that's you legitimately think that. As long as if you're phoning it in, then no.
Yeah.
But if it's something you care about and you've put, you know, due diligence into it, then of course you're going to say that, because that's what you believe.
Yeah.
And people love the old stuff. That's cool, you know. But you know, that's the past. You know, it's dead. So let's move on.
So how's the Black Narcissus gone? Is it gone? Is it reached like countries that you never even? The beauty, you hate social media, but you love it at the same time because you can get the stats where it can reach to Malaysia and Brazil and all the rest of it.
I subscribe to the social media is bad trope. I think it's kind of bullshit, to be honest with you. I mean, it's you get out of what you put into it. I mean, I think. Well, I mean, we wouldn't have played this gig if it hadn't been for social media, because I wouldn't have. And I think I first spoke to one of the Brain Buff guys on Instagram. I think it might have been Andy when he was in the band. Yeah. And it all sort of snowballed from there. So it's without social media, I mean, nothing would have happened, you know. Yeah. And possibly, I mean, we had a sort of falling out back in the day, and it was only through social media that I got back in touch with Sean again. So if it weren't for social media, then it would have been impossible. Well, here's to the next 20 years of Malediction. So. Who knows? We may get to see a headline in this festival yet again. Well, I've sort of suggested that perhaps we should play it next year, but you know. Well, we'll get in touch with the two Kennys. Like I say, they've already got a number of bands already, and it's definitely going to go from strength to strength and bigger venues and whatnot. People want to play this show, and people want to play. I mean, like we want to play Glasgow again because it's a year ago. Yeah, so we want to play. That's too long. Yeah. Well, Rich, it's been an absolute pleasure. As soon as you get anything new with Malediction, you know exactly where to send it. Of course. Maybe like a week or two before an official release, I can maybe get a wee exclusive, get you on, have your set list and all the rest of it. Yeah, of course. And we'll talk shit and have a beer. Awesome. You're good at that. Thanks very much, Rich. Cheers, man.